When someone chooses to attack a chosen one, they don't start a fight. They start the countdown to their own destruction. That's the part your enemies never see coming. They think going after you is just a harmless game, something they can do in secret, something without consequences. But every time someone targets a chosen one, the universe marks it down like a warning light on a failing engine. And once that light switches on, their downfall begins, whether they realize it or not. It's funny in a dark way. Hurting a chosen one is like punching a mirror. Sure, it hits the glass, but the shattered pieces cut the one who threw the punch. The universe has a habit of snapping the trap shut on the people who set it, turning their own plans into the rope that tightens around their future. That's not magic, and it's not superstition. It's cause and effect. It's the way life protects the people who walk with purpose and punishes the ones who try to poison them. Here's a fact you probably never heard, but you've seen it happen. People who plan against others are 3 times more likely to destroy themselves through stress, obsession, paranoia, or the chaos they create. That's straight human psychology. When someone focuses on harming you, they stop focusing on their own life. Their health tanks. Their relationships fail. Their mind becomes their enemy. Their energy becomes unstable. They drown in their own negativity. And here's the wild part. That probability jumps even higher when the person they target is someone the universe actually protects, someone who didn't harm them, someone who was just existing, growing, glowing, doing their best, someone who is chosen for a bigger purpose. Chosen one. The moment they aimed at you, their expiration date began ticking. Now, before we go deeper, let me say this. Thank you, Chosen One, for being here. Don't forget to pay this message back by pressing like and subscribe, because this message needs to reach more souls. It's on all of us to help spread the light. Thank you for being part of this mission. You're part of a force bigger than you know. Now let's get right back to what matters. The truth is simple. The universe doesn't stay silent when a chosen one is attacked. You might feel alone during the storm, but trust me, the universe is already setting up the consequences in the background. The same people who tried to break you are going to break themselves, trying. The same people who tried to dim your light are going to burn themselves, touching it. They stepped into a battlefield they weren't built for, targeting someone who carries a weight they can't understand. People love to confuse kindness with weakness. They look at your empathy and assume you're fragile. They watch your silence and assume you're scared. But what they never realize is that your calmness comes from alignment. Your restraint comes from purpose. Your silence isn't fear. It's the universe whispering, "Don't waste your energy, I've got this." Every lie they told about you, every jab they made behind your back, every trap they set, hoping you'd fall into it. You didn't even have to respond. The universe was already responding for you. Every ugly plan they designed came with a hidden timer, and the moment they launched it, the countdown to their collapse began. You ever notice how the people who go after you end up exposing themselves? They fall out with their own friends. They lose sleep. They keep talking about you long after you moved on. They become obsessed with proving something you never asked for. That's not an accident. That's not coincidence. That's the universe bending their actions back toward them like a boomerang. You are not the one who gets destroyed. They are. Because here's another hard fact. The universe always pulls energy back to its source. If they send hate, it comes back to them. If they send lies, those lies circle until they choke the one who spread them. If they send darkness, that darkness becomes their home. That's why people who attack you always end up looking tired. Their face changes. Their life looks stuck. Their energy becomes messy. They age faster. They get careless. They start slipping, failing, losing the grip they thought they had. And you rise. You grow. You glow. Because you were never the problem. You were the trigger that exposed their true nature. Chosen One, listen closely. These people aren't being punished because you're better than them. They're being punished because they tried to block a path the universe already cleared for you. They tried to interfere with a mission that isn't theirs. They tried to dim a light that wasn't given to them. When they came for you, they crossed a line they were never supposed to touch. Your existence alone threatens them. Not because you harmed them, but because your presence exposes their insecurity. Your growth triggers their jealousy. Your strength exposes their weakness. Your resilience highlights their fragility. Instead of fixing themselves, they tried to fix their discomfort by tearing you down. But the universe doesn't reward that behavior. It corrects it. You ever see someone try to ruin you, only to ruin themselves worse? That's not karma. That's alignment. That's the universe putting everything back in its proper place. You go up, they go down, you move on. They're forced to sit in the mess they created. You grow into your potential. They shrink into the consequences of their choices. The more they tried to harm you, the faster they accelerated their own downfall. The universe watches intentions, not excuses. It sees who started the fire. It sees who poured gasoline on it. It sees who tried to pull you into chaos. And when they refuse to stop, the universe steps in and stops them forcefully. Some people don't learn with warnings. They learn with consequences. And attacking a chosen one is one of the fastest ways to meet those consequences. Chosen One, you were never in danger. They were. You were never losing. They were. You were never being destroyed. They were destroying themselves, trying to destroy you. Remember this. When someone tries to bury a chosen one, they bury themselves instead. That's the rule of the universe. That's the law they triggered. That's the fate they sealed the moment they saw your light and chose to fight it. And now you're here, rising, healing, stepping into your path, while they deal with the storm they created with their own hands. What they're trying to do to you is going to get them hurt, exposed, and eventually destroyed. Not because you wished it, not because you forced it, but because the universe refuses to let harm touch someone it's guiding. You are protected because you have purpose, and they will fall because they tried to interfere with it. And thank you, Chosen One, for showing up. You being here isn't random. It means you've felt it too. The pressure, the attacks, the weird silence from people who used to praise you but now act like you're the problem. That's not coincidence. That's them realizing they can't control you. And the universe doesn't let that slide. So if you've made it this far into the message, you're meant to hear what's coming next. Stick around, because we're about to walk through this step by step, and you'll start to see the whole picture. Drop a comment with 777 if you're done being quiet about your power. And if this message hits something deep inside you, consider showing love through a super thanks. Every ounce of energy you give, even if it's just 1 cent, helps push this mission further. It's not just support. It's a signal to the universe that this truth matters, that this movement matters, that you matter. You're not just a viewer, you're part of the force waking people up. So thank you for carrying this light with us. Now let's dig even deeper into what's really going on, and why it's going to destroy the ones who tried to destroy you. Let's get into it. Number 1. They threw dirt. Now they're drowning in mud. When you spit venom at the Chosen, don't be shocked when you choke on it first. They thought they could bury you with hate. They thought they could curse your name and walk away untouched. But here's the catch. The universe doesn't run on ignorance, it runs on consequences. And every ounce of bitterness, envy, sabotage and deceit they flung at you didn't just vanish into the air. It collected, it multiplied. It turned into a force far more venomous than what they ever intended, and it's circling back to rip them apart from the inside out. See, the universe isn't slow, it's strategic. It waits until the enemy's pride is at its peak, and then it delivers the blow. That's what's happening now. They're standing at the edge of a cliff they built themselves, brick by brick, insult by insult, lie by lie, and the ground underneath them is starting to crack. Why? Because they didn't realize that when you mess with someone who's in alignment with truth, with purpose, with the universal flow of justice, you don't just throw a punch, you sign your own destruction slip. Energy mirrors intention, and when their intention is to break you, humiliate you, sabotage your peace, they're not throwing stones, they're launching boomerangs. Those boomerangs don't just return, they evolve. They come back sharper, faster, and more brutal. That's not karma. That's cosmic correction, and when it hits harder than their petty minds could ever prepare for. Here's what they'll never admit out loud. They're haunted by your calm, your rise, your survival. Because you weren't supposed to make it, you weren't supposed to get back up, but you did. And that's what's killing them, not the universe, not you. Their own bitterness is rotting them from within. You're not just a survivor, you're their reminder that cruelty didn't win. You became the living proof that every trap they set only made you sharper. You turned their darkness into your training ground, and now every fake smile, every hidden jab, every whispered rumor, it's all echoing back into their lives as chaos they can't control. Let's get real. Why do they keep watching you? Why do they still mention your name in rooms you've never walked into? Because they're obsessed with the outcome they couldn't stop. They thought destroying you would fill the emptiness inside them. But instead of power, they got exposed. Instead of dominance, they got desperation. Instead of applause, they got silence. Because no matter how loud they screamed, the universe listened to intention. And their intent was dirty. They thought your downfall would be their rise, but now they're choking on the very energy they created. And the more they try to fix it, the deeper they sink. That's the mirror effect. You spit poison at a chosen one? You better hope you're immune when it rains back on you, because chosen ones don't get hit the same. You're built with spiritual firewalls. Their hate bounces off you like a tennis ball slamming into a brick wall. And when it rebounds, it's carrying all their inner demons with it. That's what makes this so poetic. They didn't just hate you, they hated the light in you that reminded them of everything they'll never be. They hated your peace because it exposed their chaos. They hated your strength because it showed them how weak they really are. And so they lashed out. But the universe doesn't operate on emotion, it operates on truth. And the truth is, they chose the war. You just stayed standing. So now they're watching their own life fall apart in slow motion. Relationships crumble, opportunities vanish, health declines, peace gone. And deep down, they know why. It's not a curse, it's not magic, it's the raw, brutal law of return. They made themselves a weapon and ended up self-destructing, all while you, the one they tried to break, walk forward untouched, unstoppable, and upgraded. Because here's the part that stings the most. You never had to lift a finger. You never had to retaliate. You stayed focused. You stayed grounded. You let the universe do the heavy lifting. And now they're the ones carrying the weight of everything they sent your way. That's what happens when you mess with someone chosen. You don't just risk backlash, you guarantee it. Not because of revenge, not because of ego, but because the universe protects balance. And attacking the chosen is the quickest way to trigger that correction. So keep your head high. Watch them spiral while you elevate, because they started the fire. But you became the flame that burned their entire mask off. They thought they could bury you, but now they're the ones gasping for air in the pit they dug. And the most brutal part, they still don't realize it was never about you. It was always them versus their own reflection. And the mirror never lies. Number 2. The universe doesn't miss. It strikes with precision, not permission. You don't need to clap back. The universe already has a bullet with their name on it. They thought they were slick, thought they could slither through the shadows, whisper lies, manipulate stories, and throw dirt at your name without consequence. But what they didn't realize is this: when you're chosen, the universe doesn't play defense. It plays assassin. It doesn't swing wildly. It doesn't throw tantrums. It waits, it watches, and when the time is right, it delivers a strike so precise, so personal, so devastating. It feels like the universe reached inside their chest and ripped out everything they ever held dear. This isn't random. This isn't luck. This isn't just how life goes. This is surgical justice, tailor-made for them, calculated, clean, and unrelenting. The punishment doesn't just fit the crime, it reveals it. Every lie they spoke, echoing back now as isolation. Every trap they set, they're stuck in it. Every smear campaign has turned into a spotlight on their true character. And the irony, it's brutal, because the very thing they use to try to break you, their words, their plots, their manipulation, is now the very noose tightening around their own neck. You can't sabotage a chosen one without drilling your own floor open. Imagine this: someone planting a bomb, confident they're about to blow up your peace, your reputation, your progress. They smile as they walk away, but what they didn't know is the timer was reversed. That device was set to blow in their direction, and the universe just stood back, arms crossed, letting them write their own ending in bold ink. You didn't have to touch it. You didn't have to fight dirty. You just had to survive, and that alone was the trigger. A question might creep into your mind right now. Why didn't the universe stop them earlier? Why let it get this far? But here's the truth. Sometimes the universe doesn't interrupt the villain because it's setting up the perfect fall. It lets them run wild, build their ego, puff their chest. Why? So when they fall, everyone sees it. So the damage is poetic, public, precise, permanent. Another gut punch for them. They thought they were in control. That's the funniest part. They thought their little schemes, their gossip circles, their fake kindness with hidden knives were going unnoticed, but every step they took against you was recorded. Not in your mind, in the energy field around you. And that field, it responds. Not emotionally, not with vengeance, but with chilling accuracy. The punishment always hits where it hurts the most. Imagine someone who tries to ruin your career ends up losing their job in front of everyone. Someone who mocked your pain ends up crying in silence with no one to hear them. Someone who tried to isolate you ends up abandoned by their closest friends. That's not coincidence. That's cosmic surgery. The universe doesn't throw punches. It slices through the exact nerve they thought you didn't know about. When the universe claps back, it doesn't miss. It cuts the mask and the face beneath it. Let's make this even more brutal. These people, these enemies, these cowardly snakes, they didn't think you'd still be standing. That's why they acted bold, because they banked on your silence, your breakdown, your disappearance. But here you are, breathing, thriving, glowing, and it's messing with them in ways they can't admit. They don't understand how you're still here, still chosen, still protected. It haunts them, and the more they obsess over why their attacks didn't work, the more their lives unravel behind the scenes. Here's another fact they never saw coming. The punishment doesn't always come loud. Sometimes the strike is invisible. It shows up in anxiety, insomnia, mental breakdowns, unexplainable bad luck. Their mind becomes the battlefield, and the universe lets them destroy themselves from the inside. While they're busy watching your life, theirs is collapsing like a building with termites in every beam, quiet, slow, unavoidable. Ever seen someone lose everything but still pretend they're winning? That's them now, and you'll recognize it. Their tone changes, their eyes dull, the fake confidence becomes forced. They can't fake it like they used to. Because that precision strike from the universe doesn't just break things, it exposes everything they built on lies, their money, their image, their social circle. All of it starts to rot. And no matter how hard they try to cover it up, the stench of karma follows. You can't destroy someone built by pain and protected by purpose. Let's answer another silent question you might be holding. But why do I still feel the pain while they seem fine? Simple. Because your pain was the warning siren. Theirs is the silence before the crash you were healing. They were hiding. And healing looks messy, but destruction looks quiet until the collapse. Don't mistake the delay for escape. The universe isn't late, it's lining up the shot. And when that shot lands, it doesn't just shake their world, it confirms yours. You'll look back and see how everything they tried to use against you became your building blocks. Their hate made you stronger. Their betrayal taught you boundaries. Their rejection carved out your self-worth. Every evil they aimed at you got rerouted into your transformation, and while they sink in the storm they created, you walk through fire with not a scar, but a blueprint. Because here's the sickest part. They created the storm that crowned you, and now they're watching you rise while they drown in the flood they summoned. That's the part that kills them. Not just that you made it, but that their own actions made you. So don't waste time trying to explain yourself. Don't waste breath warning them. Don't chase closure or justice with your bare hands. The universe has already drawn the map. The fall is happening. The hit is landing. The silence around them isn't peace, it's pressure. And eventually it will crack them wide open. They laughed at your pain, they mocked your struggle, they celebrated your setbacks. But now they can't laugh. Their joy tastes like ash, their smiles are rehearsed, their shadows are screaming, and all you did was survive. All you did was stay aligned. That's all it ever took. That's what the universe responds to. So if you're sitting here wondering if it's working, if justice is coming, know this: it's already in motion. You might not hear it, but they do, every day, every night, in the silence, in the losses, in the fear they won't speak out loud. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the whisper that keeps them awake at 3 a.m. And that, chosen one, is your confirmation. You were never unprotected. You were never alone. You were always the threat. They just didn't know it until the universe showed them, piece by piece, what happens when you go to war with someone backed by precision. Not revenge, not chaos, not hate, Just pure, undeniable, cold-blooded, universal correction. Now let's keep going. The story's not done yet. Number 3. You burn their darkness before it touches you. Their poison doesn't kill you. Your presence kills their poison. They hate you, not because you hurt them, but because you expose them without trying. You walk into a room and their lies tremble. Their games glitch. Their fake confidence cracks like thin ice under real weight. You're the antidote they never asked for, the cure that ruins their entire disease, and the universe made you that way on purpose. You didn't choose this role. Your energy did. Imagine a toxin flooding the system. Everyone else gets infected. But you step in, and suddenly the whole poison starts breaking apart. Not because you swing back, not because you fight dirty, but because the frequency you carry can't be infected. That alone drives them insane. They can lie to others, but they can't lie around you. They can fake strength, but they can't fake it in your presence. They can manipulate the world, but the moment they try it on you, it's like punching smoke. Nothing lands. Your existence is the test. They always fail. Now here's what messes with their head the most. Every time they attack you, they speed up their own downfall. Imagine them trying to poison a river, not realizing you are the filter. Everything they throw only exposes their contamination. Every jab they take reveals more of their insecurity. Every plan they make turns into a mirror showing their weakest parts, and they can't stand it. Because deep down, they know you didn't have to do anything. Their hatred destroys them faster than you ever could. You might wonder, why do they obsess over me if I'm not even doing anything to them? Simple. Because your energy threatens everything they built on fraud, jealousy, and manipulation. You don't just survive what they send, you neutralize it. You turn their poison into lessons. You turn their attacks into breakthroughs. You turn their darkness into fuel. Trying to take you down is like trying to drown fire. All it does is make the steam burn hotter. They wanted to weaken you, but every attempt made you stronger. They wanted you unstable, but every blow revealed their instability. They wanted you broken, but your resilience broke them, and that's the tragic comedy of it all. Their obsession with your downfall becomes the very reason they crumble. You are the antidote. They are the virus, and the universe already chose the winner. Number 4. They drank the poison meant for you. You were just living. They were the ones overdosing on your existence. Obsession isn't flattery. It's a slow suicide. And when someone becomes obsessed with a chosen one, they don't realize they've triggered their own collapse. At first, it looks like curiosity, watching your every move, checking your silence, studying your glow. But it spirals fast. Jealousy turns into obsession, and that obsession turns into a full-time job, one that pays them in pain, paranoia, and loss. You didn't ask to be their fixation. But once you became their target, they stopped living for themselves. Their only mission: watch you, beat you, break you. And that's exactly how they broke themselves. Imagine this: a snake biting steel, convinced its venom will melt it. All it gets is a shattered jaw. That's them. Their hatred was the weapon, their obsession was the fuse, and now they're sitting in the fallout of a war they created and lost. You're not the one burning. You're the one rising while they sink into the fire they lit. They can't focus, can't rest, can't love. Their mind loops your name like a broken record, and every time they fail to shake your presence, it chips away at what little peace they had left. You became their compass, even when they're lost. They can't move on. They don't want to heal, because the pain of your success is louder than the comfort of their own life. And here's the kicker: the more they stare at you, the less they see themselves. That's why their relationships collapse, their self-worth shatters, their energy drains. They're not living anymore, they're just watching and dying inside. You weren't their downfall, their obsession with you was. You didn't touch them, you didn't curse them, you just kept rising. And the higher you went, the more they self-destructed, because what eats them alive isn't what you did, it's what you didn't need to do to keep winning. That's the death they can't stop. A silent, self-inflicted one, and it's all because they couldn't let you go. Number 5, they dug a grave and fell in head first. The chosen don't need to fight. The enemy is always busy walking into their own trap. They really thought they had it all figured out, thought their little whispers, secret alliances, and hidden moves were gonna break you. But here's the reality they never saw coming. While they were plotting your downfall, they were digging their own grave. And the universe, it watched, it waited, and it smiled, because it didn't just protect you, it used your name, your pain, your silence as bait. They weren't hunting you, they were being lured. See, the universe is the coldest trap setter. It doesn't chase, doesn't scream, doesn't flinch. It just sits back and lets them build their own coffin, one lie at a time. It's poetic, because every time they thought, "I got them now," they were actually stepping deeper into the hole. That's how the universe works for the chosen. It doesn't just defend you, it exposes them. Slowly, strategically, brutally. Imagine this: a spider thinks it's crawling toward prey, but the web it steps into, it's been there the whole time, invisible, silent, waiting. That's what happened here. Their ego was the bait, their pride was the trigger. And the moment they got too confident, too loud, too sure, snap, the trap closed. Not because you retaliated, not because you fought back, but because the universe doesn't play with the protected. It lets the enemy climb high, so their fall is loud enough for everyone to hear. And now, their mask is slipping. The support they had is disappearing. Their lies are unraveling. They're standing in a storm they swore was meant for you, and it's poetic justice. Because what they meant to destroy you became their destruction. While you rise untouched, they're choking on the very dirt they tried to throw. They thought they were the hunters. Turns out they were the bait. Number 6. They tried to shoot, but you were never in range. They aimed with hate, fired with ego, and still missed, because the chosen are never unprotected. They thought you were easy prey, just another name they could drag, another soul they could break. What they didn't realize is this: the moment they came for you, they were already at war with something way bigger than you. They weren't up against a person, they were up against protection they couldn't see, predict, or touch. And that's why they're losing their minds. Every move they made, blocked. Every shot they fired, backfired. Plans, dismantled before they even left the ground. Why? Because chosen ones don't walk around exposed. You're wrapped in layers of protection that confuse the enemy into thinking you're just lucky. It's not luck, it's alignment. The universe reroutes storms before they hit you. It closes doors they try to sneak through. It collapses rooms where your name's being dragged. They'll never understand how or why, but they feel it. That invisible resistance that chokes their every attempt. Imagine trying to stab someone through bulletproof glass. That's them. Their rage bounces back and bruises their own hand, and the more they swing, the more damage they take. not you, because what's guarding you isn't visible to the naked eye, but it's stronger than anything they've got in their arsenal. You were never standing alone. Energy shields, ancestral backup, divine timing that delays their attacks until they destroy themselves first. That's the armor they can't crack. They didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because you were never reachable. And that drives them insane. How is it possible that everything they try ends in failure? It's because your protection isn't loud. It's lethal in silence. You don't need to see it to know it's there. You feel it every time you walk away, untouched. And they feel it every time they try and crumble under their own hate. Let them keep guessing. Let them keep failing, because you were shielded before they ever aimed. Number 7, they trespassed where demons fear to walk. Hurting a chosen one isn't bold, it's suicidal. You don't stab lightning and expect to walk away clean. They thought you were just another target, another person they could manipulate, disrespect, and discard like trash. But what they didn't know, or refuse to believe, is that coming for you isn't like messing with anyone else. You're not regular ground, you're sacred territory. And when they stepped toward you with dirty hands and wicked hearts, they didn't just start a fight, they committed a spiritual crime. Chosen ones carry a frequency that disrupts darkness. That energy doesn't just make you different, it makes you dangerous to the wrong ones. You were set apart, not for ego, but for impact. Your presence shakes what's fake, burns through lies, and exposes rot. And because of that, the universe doesn't just protect you, it claims you. You're marked. And that mark? It's invisible to you, but terrifyingly clear to the forces that matter. The second someone moves against you, that energy field activates like an alarm system wired to cosmic justice. Imagine someone breaking into a vault that's been sealed by time, spirit, and legacy, thinking they'll steal something and walk away rich. They don't even make it past the door. The curse kicks in the second they touch it. That's what happened when they tried you. Their downfall didn't start later. It started the moment they aimed at you. They violated something sacred, and the universe doesn't hand out warnings for that. It hands out consequences. You weren't just a mistake they made. You were the line they should have never crossed. Now look at them. Peace, gone. Health, shaking. Connections, breaking. Every piece of their life turning to dust because they disrespected a path that wasn't theirs to touch. And they'll try to spin the story, pretend you did something. But truth doesn't need defending. It reveals itself in silence. You were always protected, always covered, always chosen. They didn't lose because you fought back. They lost because they went to war with something they couldn't see and could never defeat. Number 8. They fall apart. Exactly how they built their hate, piece by piece. The universe doesn't destroy your enemies in one blow. It takes them apart slowly, so they feel every crack they caused. They thought getting rid of you would be simple, quick, clean. But the universe never lets the downfall of a chosen one's enemy happen all at once. No, it lets them crumble in layers, the same way they layered lies, envy, and malice against you. It's poetic, really. They built their attacks step by step, and the universe tears their world down, step by step, slow enough for them to understand what's happening, brutal enough that they can't escape it. First thing to disappear, their peace. Imagine someone trying to sleep on broken glass. Every turn cuts them more. That's their mind now, restless, paranoid, overthinking your name, your silence, your rise. They can't meditate, can't distract themselves, can't breathe without feeling the pressure of what they caused. Their thoughts become a prison cell with no windows, and the universe locks the door from the outside. Next layer to collapse, their connections. It's wild how fast people disappear from their life. The same friends who hyped up their schemes vanish. The partners who believed their lies walk away. Fake allies crumble like wet paper. Suddenly, they're alone. The very thing they wanted for you. They wanted your isolation and ended up drowning in theirs. Every relationship becomes fragile. Every bond turns shaky. Every lie they told starts boomeranging back and exposing them. They thought they were building an army. Turns out they were building exits. Then comes the part they fear most, their physical and emotional breakdown. Stress hits their body like a disease. Sleep deprivation turns their face hollow. Their health stumbles. Their energy drains. Their reputation, it evaporates. People see the cracks. People whisper. People distance themselves. The same way they tried to destroy your image, the universe wipes theirs clean off the map, and they feel it in their chest, in their bones, in their everyday life. They're not unlucky, they're unraveling. Imagine a tower collapsing one floor at a time. That's them. They feel every drop, every consequence, every piece of karma sliding into place. Not because you sought revenge, not because you fought back, but because the universe hits in layers, so the lesson sinks deep. What they built on hate collapses under truth. Always. By the time the final layer falls, all that's left inside them is regret. Heavy, choking regret. The kind that doesn't fade. The kind that stains. And here's the real twist that haunts them. Every piece they lost was a piece they put at risk the moment they came for you. They didn't just reap what they sowed. They're living in the rubble of their own choices, one layer at a time. Number 9. They pulled the trigger, but the bullet turned around. The harder they come for you, the deeper they bury themselves, because fighting destiny is like punching the ocean. They think they're fighting you. They think this is personal, like their attacks, rumors, and backstabbing are shaking your foundation. But here's the harsh truth they don't want to accept. They're not fighting you. They're at war with a force that doesn't flinch, and the more they push against it, the more it crushes them. Every jab, every scheme, every fake smile with hidden venom. It just tightens the noose around their own neck. This isn't about revenge. This is about resistance. And what happens when you go up against something you were never meant to challenge? Chosen ones don't operate on the same level. You're wired into something higher. So when they step into the ring thinking it's a fair fight, they're already swinging at a brick wall. All they hit is themselves. And the irony, the more desperate they get to destroy you, the faster they fall apart. Imagine someone in quicksand, flailing harder and harder, convinced they can escape by fighting it, but every move just sinks them deeper. That's them. They're drowning in their own hate, but blaming your name for the weight. What they don't see is this. Their downfall isn't punishment. It's proof that some forces don't tolerate interference. Proof that messing with the chosen always costs more than they can afford. You can't stop a storm by screaming at it, and you can't beat fate by swinging blindly. They're losing sleep, losing trust, losing themselves. And the worst part, they don't even know how deep they are until it's too late, because judgment doesn't shout, it tightens quietly, relentlessly. And by the time they realize their war was unwinnable, the damage is already permanent. They thought they could outmaneuver fate. They thought you were just a stepping stone. Now they're stuck, slipping fast, while you rise untouched. Number 10. They punched the wind, and it hit back. They thought they were fighting you, but they were throwing fists at the thunder. They came at you loud, bold, full of ego, convinced that if they hit hard enough, lied fast enough, or moved slick enough, they could take you down. But what they didn't realize, and what's now destroying them, is that they weren't fighting you. They were fighting the very forces that shaped you. Forces they can't see, can't predict, can't escape. They didn't start a petty grudge. They triggered a storm they were never built to survive. You weren't chosen by accident. You weren't protected by coincidence. There's a structure around you, a force field crafted from every painful rebirth, every lesson, every spiritual upgrade you earned through fire. They mistook your silence for weakness, your calm for passivity. But silence is the language of power, and calm is what stands before a force that's about to collapse everything false in its path. Imagine someone shadowboxing in a hurricane, swinging, yelling, flailing, completely unaware that the wind doesn't even notice them. But the moment they touch a chosen one, that wind turns. That's what's happening now. They tried to override a blueprint that was designed before they were even aware of you. They tried to interrupt a destiny that was sealed, and every move they make, every insult, every scheme just shows how blind they truly are. They weren't fighting a person, they were provoking a system of justice that doesn't negotiate. And now they're realizing the truth, slowly, painfully, the delays in their life, the shattered plans, the mysterious blocks they can't explain. That's not bad luck. That's consequence. That's the universe pushing back, with no explanation, no warning, no mercy. You didn't have to respond. The energy responded for you. They crossed a line they couldn't see, and now the backlash is educating them in ways they can't ignore. Let them learn the hard way. You were never the battlefield. You were the trigger, and now the war they started is swallowing them. Number 11. You're the mirror that breaks their illusions. You didn't ruin them. You revealed them. And the truth is what shattered their mask. You don't even have to speak. Just your presence sends ripples through people's lives, because chosen ones don't walk into rooms quietly. They shift the atmosphere. You're not here to entertain. You're here to expose. You walk in, and suddenly people feel things they've been avoiding. Insecurities flare up. Masks slip. Hidden motives crawl out from under the surface like bugs in sunlight. That's the power you carry, and that's why they either love you or can't stand you. There's no middle. You're a walking mirror, and mirrors don't lie. You don't have to confront people. Your existence does, and that's terrifying for the ones who've built their lives around illusions. You force them to face what they've buried. For some, it sparks change. For others, it sparks chaos. But either way, you trigger transformation, redemption, or destruction, healing or unraveling. Something always happens after you. Imagine someone looking into a mirror for the first time in years. No filters, no lies, just raw reflection. That's what your energy does to people. They either use it to clean themselves up, or they smash the mirror and curse it for showing them the truth. And that's the thing. You didn't break them. You just showed them who they already were. And once that truth is out, there's no going back. Your energy doesn't destroy people. Their denial does. You're not here to play small so others stay comfortable. You were built to wake people up, even if they hate you for it, and the ones who can't handle it. They'll call you the villain, but deep down they know. You were the catalyst. You were the turning point. You were the storm that stripped away the fake and forced them to either evolve or collapse. So stop apologizing for shaking foundations. That's what Chosen One do. Number 12. The clock always strikes. And when it does, it ends them. They thought they were winning, but the universe was just letting them dig their grave with a golden shovel. It always looks like they're getting away with it in the beginning. They laugh, they gloat, they mock you like they've won the war. But that's not victory, that's delay, the calm before the storm. Because when you're chosen, the universe doesn't rush. It times everything down to the last breath. And when the clock finally strikes, it doesn't come with noise, it comes with precision. Quiet, ruthless, final. They confuse silence with safety. They think because you haven't clapped back, they're safe. But you were never the one keeping score. The universe was every lie, every betrayal, every dagger they threw behind your back. All of it logged, sealed, and scheduled for judgment. And when that moment hits, it won't be dramatic, it'll be surgical. What looked like stability will collapse in minutes. Relationships will turn to dust, peace will vanish. Reputation, gone. That's what happens when divine timing decides it's done waiting. Imagine watching someone play a game, smug and arrogant, while the ground beneath them is quietly cracking. That's them. They thought the silence meant they won, but in reality, they've been living on borrowed time. And the debts about to be collected. The universe doesn't skip justice, it just lets the rope tighten. You don't need revenge, you don't need to prove a thing. Your silence was never weakness, it was trust. Trust in the forces watching over you. And now those forces are moving, slowly, deliberately. And when they strike, there won't be a second chance, because divine patience isn't passive, it's lethal. When it's time, it's over. So hold your ground, chosen one. You haven't been forgotten, you've been positioned. Everything they thought they stole from you will be returned, multiplied, and everything they built on your pain will collapse, brick by brick. Let them enjoy their illusion. Because when that clock hits zero, justice won't just knock, it'll level the entire house. They thought they could break you, but all they did was expose themselves. The universe doesn't forget, and trust me, their time is coming. You're not just surviving, chosen one, you're rising. Every setback was set up. Every attack was proof of your power. So keep standing tall and let the universe handle the cleanup. If this message hit you deep, press that like button if you haven't already. And if you're not part of the family yet, hit that subscribe button and join us. We speak truth, we move with power, and this is just the beginning.